Why is it that sometimes in trading you seem to be your own worst enemy? And why are there other times when things just like seem to trade completely in the zone, right? Well, today I kind of want to talk about the concepts, um, something that every trader kind of hears, but almost no one actually truly understands about it. Um, and that is why doing nothing actually makes most of the money. Which is weird, right? You think as a trader you have to be always on the charts and always thinking and always acting on every opportunity, but it doesn't always work like that. To break it down, I want to talk about who I perceive as one of the goats, not of just trading, but of like trading psychology generally, and that's Jesse Livermore. He's a man who managed to turn market silence into millions. And if you've ever blown up a good setup by overtrading, or you've exited too early, or you got chopped to death in a sideways market, this video I think is going to hit home. So like share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Remember, I try to release a video a day, and I don't sell courses. I don't want your money. I just want to spread trading knowledge to the world, right? So I think every trader thinks it's all about activity, screens flashing, indicators buzzing, charts updating, and every tick. But Jesse Livermore said something that should be tattooed on every single trader's eyelid. He said, it was never my thinking about the market that made me money. It was my waiting. It's not analyzing, he's not predicting, not updating your chart 12 times, sitting in a trend, sitting through noise, sitting through pullbacks that shake out 99.9% of all retail traders. Most traders blow up not because of their bad entries, but because they can't actually sit still. They scalp when they should swing, they exit winners early, they re-enter losers, they chase noise, not structure. Jesse Livermore called it an inability to be right and sit tight, and he believed this single weakness is why most traders never make it. By now, you would have seen on my screen all my trades. I like to share them, the winners and the losers, so you know, like I'm not a charlatan, but do with it what you wish, right? The market pays me for waiting, and it probably pays you too, because here's the uncomfortable truth. The market doesn't reward activity, it rewards patience. Every single big trade you've ever had in your life, think back. Think back to it, right? Did it come from 14 trades in one day? Did it come from chasing an RSI divergence at 2 a.m. with a bag of Cheetos? Or scalping a breakout candle? Probably not, no. Your biggest winners almost always come from clean levels, clear trend, beautiful PA, high confidence setups, and the most magical ingredient out of all of it to put it together, like a binding agent, is time, right? Letting that move develop. Jesse Livermore, he said something else. He said another profound quote. After spending many years on Wall Street, I found out it was sitting that made most of the money. And that's so true. When I analyze my positions, as you can see on the side of the screen, it's not the entries, it's not the indicators, it's not the predictors, it's the holding. As you can see, like the time duration of my trades, it's about holding. The most money is in identifying the shift in trend. Yeah, you can make money scalping. Yeah, you can make money on all these strategies, but the real money is made in the waiting. Um, there was one famous trade that he had. It was a cotton trade. It was one of his most famous examples. And in this trade, the cotton trade, he spotted a structural imbalance, right? Big accumulation, drying up volume, insiders quietly loading up. So he went long, and obviously immediately the market went nowhere. It didn't go down, didn't go up, which is dead PA, right? Dead price action. For weeks and weeks, most traders would have probably closed that position out of boredom. They probably would have scalped something else out of FOMO. Oh, well, what's going on today? And then let's go and trade it for no reason and lose money, right? Because I can't sit on my hand. Or they would have reversed the position because nothing's actually happening. Well, Jesse Livermore didn't actually move. He just said, I made millions by sitting tight while others were shaken out. Then, as if the market was waiting for the last impatient trader to quit, his trade exploded upwards. Not a 1% move, not a little pop, but like a full blown trend defining, life changing, account building markup phase. And that's where another famous one of these quotes come from. Whereas the big money is not in the individual undulations, the oscillations, the fluctuations. I'm paraphrasing, I'm adding, I'm embellishing, but you get the drift. But it's in the main movements, like the main story, the main narrative of it all, right? Because most traders, they never see the main movement. And we've been there. I've been there. I'm not trying to sound better than anyone. I've definitely been there. I'm still there at many times in my trading journey, right? Because they're too busy chopping themselves up in the noise. That's what happens. We chop ourselves up in the noise. We try and get in. We don't follow our setups. We don't look for like tier one movements or tier one opportunities. We just get chopped up in the noise. And then like it's all noise, no signal at that point, right? And Jesse Livermore might have lived, I don't know how many decades ago or even a century ago, but the modern market still proves true. Look at Bitcoin. Every bull run, the people who held and not traded, they made the real money. The people who scalped every single dip, they missed the entire move. They got shaken out or they blew their capital on fees, right? Even gold, the multi-year breakout above 2000 didn't reward day traders, bro. It rewarded the quiet accumulators who held through all of the fake outs, all of the noise. It's the same for Nvidia, Tesla, Meta. The 10x move didn't come from like little timing wiggles. They came from position trading, positional commitment, entering on structure, sitting on great price action. Markets change, time frames change, assets change, but the principles, they all say the same. The market pays traders who do less, not more. But that is like part of the psychological war. I didn't mean to rhyme that, like it just happened. I don't know why. But why can't we sit like psychologically? Why can't you actually sit? Because the biggest enemy in trading isn't the chart, it's your mind, it's the human mind, right? Another quote he wrote was, the average man doesn't wish to be told that it's a bull market or a bear market. He wants to be told specifically which stock to buy. And what Jesse Livermore meant by that was that people want action. They crave excitement. They want that dopamine. They want to feel productive, even if it means clicking the mouse 100 million times. That makes no like alpha for your account. But trading should be the opposite. It should be robotic. The best traders I've ever met are actually bored. They're doing nothing for 80% of the time. They wait like hunters in the bush, in the digital bush of green and red habitation, right? And that's how they make most of their money. The urge is to act emotionally. The fear of missing out, the FOMO, the anxiety, the boredom, the insecurity, the comparison, which is truly the thief of all joy, right? Doing nothing feels weird and alien and wrong for us because the market is so dizzying, it's so quick, it's so rapid, it's so changeable, it's so variable. So when do you sit and when do you act, right? I think you need a practical breakdown and it's hard to follow it. You should do nothing when the market is like unreadable, choppy. Price action is not adhering to any of the conventions like of technical analysis or anything that you've seen. And now the dangerous time to trade and when you should sit on your hands is probably when price is in a range. I got chopped up so many times of prices being in a range, and I think I'm catching a breakout. I hadn't seen the range just in front of my eyes, right? Or when volatility is low, or your setup isn't like tier A, it isn't exactly how you normally find those tier one setups. Or when the structure is unclear, because there's many times when the price action is just completely unclear, right? There's literally a jet flying past. I don't know if you could hear it. It's like an F-30 or whatever, F-35. That's crazy. My whole house is shaking, right? When you should trade is when the trend is clear, when price is breaking structure, when the volume is there to confirm it, the big players are moving, the confluence aligns, the risk reward is asymmetric, right? And me personally, I don't really use charts, indicators. I definitely do use charts. I don't use indicators on charts. I'm like, I don't need the indicators, man. Like the indicators they're never forward looking. They're always like historical. The way that these indicators are derived, I mean, the mathematics is sound, but it's not telling me anything new, right? I get the idea that, oh, if everyone's using it, it kind of has a self-fulfilling prophecy, but all I need is price action. Everything is in price action. And I would definitely implore and imbue anyone watching this video to actually try to remove all your indicators and just trade on price action alone. But look, If you wait until your setup appears, not someone else's, not Twitter's, not some influencer guy, not me, your setup, your conditions, your edge. If you just wait for all of that stuff, that is when you want to take those trades. But I'm not gonna lie, reducing that itch, that urge to overtrade, that's tricky, man. And it takes years and years to actually achieve it. Excuse me. Now, what is the closing lesson of all of this? The key takeaway, your biggest edge is not your RSI settings, right? No matter how proprietary they may seem, or how auspicious or how serendipitous they may have been in the history. It's not your chart pattern collection identifying like, I don't know, 3 white soldiers or doji formation that is like the second coming, right? It's not all of your fancy indicators, which, let's be honest, are never forward looking and everyone else is using them. And it's not your 0.01 second, 1 picosecond of a tenth of a second, like, ability to click a mouse. It's your ability to do absolutely nothing until the market gives you the real opportunities, right? Because Livermore cracked that code almost 100 years ago. And traders are still ignoring it to this day. If you want to actually trade like a professional, remember the quote that changed Jesse Livermore's life. And it should change yours. I mean, follow no man, follow yourself. But if you're going to try and emulate a legend, like follow this quote, right? It is the waiting that makes the money. It doesn't mean you have to be in a trade for 10 years, but you have to wait for those setups. Not the trading, not the thinking, not the over predicting, but the waiting. If you want to trade more auspiciously, you need to develop the ability to not trade. Because remember, cash is still a position. And sometimes the most powerful position is choosing not to have a position, right? Yeah, have a look at my own trading setups and let me know what you think. But share, like, subscribe. See you on the next side. Bye-bye.